Hello. I think we are live. I always want to check on my phone that I'm in the right place because sometimes I go to different places, like we all do. Hello, my name is Leanne Furness, and I am in Rochester, Minnesota. Just a minute. I am an independent demonstrator. I cannot multitask at the same time. Double check here before I get going. Today I'm going to show you something that I'm excited about. I'm going to share with you a new club opportunity. Now, in the past, clubs have been something else entirely, and clubs are I'm just switching because I don't see anybody seeing me yet. And that's fine because it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I could use a cocktail. Anyway, all right. So there we are. I am live. Perfect. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to go back to my world. All right. So I am going to offer clubs in the past have been a certain group of people who are repeating, who are grouped together, and they come every month and order every other month. And then at one point, they're the host who gets the credit or the free products that Stampin' Up! Gives away. Well, that whole host credit thing is going away. So I've been trying to figure out what am I going to do? Plus, it's not a lot of interest. Plus, I know a lot of my customers have been with me for more than 10 years, and they have a lot of stuff. So they don't necessarily want more stuff. They want to have ways to use what they already own. Hence, the fancy, fabulous, fun fold. Thank you, Nancy Johnson. Club. And I guess I might even change it from fabulous, fun folds to fabulous, fun. I don't know, because it's going to be more than just folds. It's going to be, ways to use your designer's yours paper wrap. It's going to be just different ways to use what you probably already own. And it to wow your friends and family that you're sending cards to, because it gets pretty boring, right? To make just a card that's cut and scored. And so how that's going to look, I'm not sure. I want to make sure it's worth my time, because in the past, when the clubs would get together, that would be kind of an incentive, and I would add some orders, and then I would get extra stuff, and that whole thing is a whole nother debacle. But this, I thought, if I charge a certain amount, and I'm going to have a PDF that you get if you're part of the club, and I think I'm going to do like a yearly club price and then a month-to-month club price, and I'm going to have an in-person time. And if you can't make that in-person time, or you don't want to make that in-person time, that's okay. I'm going to have a video, something like this, but not live, and show you how to make that card. And it's only going to be available to those who are in the club, and there'll be like a fee, kind of like some people maybe are in a scrapbooking club, that they are a store has like like Sam's Club. It's like that. So more to that later. Right now, I'm going to show you what I decided to do. And for those of you who know me well, you'll know that I decided to do this. I decided when I sent the email, but then I came home from hanging out with my grandkids, and I'm like, I should probably figure this out. And I think I'm so excited. You can feel it, right? Because I just think I have this brilliant idea that I would have never got that otherwise. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to switch this down. Okay, you don't want to see my upside down face. I'm going to pull this up so what I'm showing you tonight is one of the cards that is going to be in the club, or I believe it is, or it's going to be similar to that. And the video would be similar in my mind. You know how things are like always in your mind one way, and then they're in another way. Anyway, so I'm going to highlight using this Full of Life Designer Series paper. It is in our new annual catalog, page 43. It's 6x6. It comes with these bold, bright, here I'm going to do this. So that's the front and the back, front and the back. And so there's fun patterns, and I'm like, oh, some of those might be a little too bold for this card. I'm going to show you the finished card that I already have made with Ultra Unbounded Beauty. I had to think for a second. But you can just see how fun and vibrant it is. And some people are like, well, I don't even know what I would do with that. Well, don't worry. We'll show you. We'll show you, babe. All right. I'm going to get that out of the way. So here's the triple diamond step card that I'm talking about. And the only way you're going to get this tutorial is, one, watching this video and emailing me or commenting of some sort and tell me what you thought of it, but not this one, the one that I finished with, or join this club, and there'll be more information beginning of like end of July, right after my garage sale. So I have to kind of like pace myself because otherwise I get overwhelmed and just shut down. So this is basically what that looks like standing on the table. And it looks complicated, but it's not. This is, again, the Unbound Beauty DSP, and this is Unbounded Love die cut set and bundle. And just remember, the bundles are 20% off. And I know that some of the bundles aren't available. And that's just how it is. So if you want a written tutorial, you need to send me a message either on Facebook or on YouTube or via email or text, or somehow say, hey, I would like that tutorial. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and this is how the club will work. You're going to do the cutting because that's how you learn to do these measurements correctly. And it's all about the measurements. So this is my normal, let's go back up. This is my normal 8.5 by 11 piece of blueberry bushel. And what I want it to be is 5 1/4 by 9 1/4. So I'm going to cut it down here to 9 1/4. Whoop. 9. Okay, now I'm going to zoom back in. It'd be great if I had a practice, but that, you know what? Practice is for people who aren't good at flying by the seat of their plants. Okay, so that's 9 1/4. And then when you bring it up, I'll show you. I have it on my trimmer, and this is my scoring blade. And I'm actually going to pause because that's not how I want to do it. I want to do it this way. I want to do 5 1/2. And I think we all probably know what 5 1/2 is, but because I want this big chunk off that size, we're going to use that later, and then do 9 1/4, which is what I just showed you. Only I stopped myself because I didn't want to lose what I was doing. Okay, so now don't forget your arm goes in and out. So now I'm going to score, and this is kind of wonky, and at first I didn't really get it, but now I do. So I'm going to go ahead, and usually when I score this way. And so I'm going to do it that way and make sure it works. So this is a 1 inch. So when I say score at 1 inch, I mean put your edge to the 1 inch and then run your scoring line. And then you're going to do 2 inches. Then you're going to go to 3 1/2. And then 5 inches. And again, you can get the printed, typed out measurements if you comment on this. I see we have a couple people. I love plants. I don't really love plants, Chris. They kind of hate me, but they're growing really well these days, aren't they? So the next fold is 7 1/8. And we've talked about this. 1/8 is this little hash, the second hashtag. So I'm going to go 7 1/8. And that's where fancy folds tend to trip people up. You know, measurements like that, they become paralyzed and they're like, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right. So you can't really see this far, Mark. So I'm not going to put that too far away because we're going to need it. So then this is going to become my card base. And it's just like a, what's that called? Fan fold. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. And then you use your bone folder to get a good crisp fold. And then there you have what the beginning of the card base looks like. All right, so we're going to put that to our side. Then we're going to grab our trimmer again, and we're going to cut the diamonds. Where's my sample? The diamonds or really are squares, right, out of cardstock. So the measurements for those, again, will be in the written tutorial. I'm going to say them really quick because I'm tricky, but when I do my club thing, you will not be able to just like watch a video and get it because I mean that way. So this is going to be, I'm trying to think here. Square one. Okay, so 2 3/8. No, 2 7/8. Okay, so 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite 3 inches. A little bit bigger than the 2. And then it just fits perfect. Now, I don't know who figured this stuff out. I mean, I'm not an engineer. So that's my square one. My next square is 2 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Remember, those are the second ticks. I hate to say the word ticks because really, like, who wants ticks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My brain is all over the place. All right, so 2 5/8. And then the next one is 2 3/8. So you really got to get these eighths down. And we talked about it. There's a video somewhere on my Facebook and my YouTube. So 1, 2, 3/8. And you can kind of just double check. 1, 2, 3/8. I don't like ticks either. See, I don't like ticks. I don't like plants. So now we have our 3 squares in the same blueberry bushel that are going to go on here. All right, so that's done cutting. Let's cut our designer series paper. Now, in the sample, I kind of just picked some patterns that were coordinating, and I didn't, when I looked at this paper from the Full of Life designer series paper, I kind of thought, well, this stuff is busy. How am I going to do that? And then I had the aha moment, which I think we all love those moments. So let me show you what I thought of and how I'm doing it. And then you can tell me if I'm crazy. Well, I guess you can tell me if I'm crazy. So here are my squares, right? And those are going to be part, well, here, let's get you straightened out. That drives me crazy. Squares, 1, 2, 3. And so I kind of started this way. 1, 2, 3. And had them, like that. And I thought, well, that is incredibly boring. Blech. Then I thought, well, wait, wouldn't this be cool to be part of one of those squares? So I took, for example, one of these designer series paper. And I know cutting these are so hard. Oh my gosh, you kind of just cringe, right? So I'm going to go ahead. You already know that I'm crazy. Wow, there is like some serious bantering going on. I like it. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to use just a pencil that I put away because I was trying to clean my surface. Pencil, and then trim it. And I'm going to end up with this for my first diamond. Oh, I love it. Wait till you see this. It's going to be so cool. Okay, sorry. So then there's the first diamond. All right. So then I didn't want it to get you too busy. So I thought my second diamond, which is this one, is going to be, it's going to be just lovely. Just lovely. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to do that. And then for the third and final one, I thought, how cool would it be to have this explosion continue on the third one? And so what I'm looking for is the piece of paper I want, not the piece of paper I have. Okay, so I already had cut part of this off. This is the other side. This is the front. And so if I took my largest designer series paper, it's not going to fit, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use this later for a different project or even later. And I'm going to go ahead and I want this to kind of be similar, right? So I want this to be in the middle, but I have to make sure my tip is at the top, top shape. So when that looks lined up, I'm going to go ahead like this. I think it's going to be worth it to do it this way. I hope. It may be a hashtag fail, but who knows? And then just trim it. So, and I've already cut and trimmed and sized these. Are all like about a 1/4 inch smaller than what the base was. Whoops. But I just really wanted to get that design up. And it's kind of hard to see. So wherever your pencil line is, you put it in the groove, and then you can trim it. Then you can erase that pencil line. So now, if all goes as planned, it's going to be like that. Wow. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So then the other part of the cardstock or the designer series paper you need to cut are these little skinny strips. And I think, again, the opposite side of what we've got going on, I think that's way too much going on. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this first one. So they're all going to be 5 3/8 width. So 1, 2, 3, 3/8. So 5 3/8. And I might just go simple. I might just do all of them this. We'll see. So I can't see my little piece of paper. 2 inches is the biggest one. And then 1 3/8. 1. That's not going to work, is it? All right. So it's going to be the biggest. And then what else we got? What else we got, people? We're going to do some of this. So then I'm going to go 1 3/8. 1, 2, 3. And really, it's like anything in the world. You start 1, 2, 3. You start doing those eighths, and you're going to just get good at it. It's going to be like, what was I worried about? I got these eighths down. And then I'm going to grab one more, kind of bring in some different color scheme. I don't know which one. I shouldn't be worried about it. I should just pick, because it doesn't matter. Here's one that's already been cut for a little bit. And so then I'm going to make this one 7/8 by 5/8. It's a little too pink for me. Yeah, that's okay. It's part of the whole look, right? All right. It's not quite what I wanted it to be. Let me move that in a little bit. Okay. And again, 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. And the only other thing I'm going to cut now is I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock, because this is going to be my card. And if it's not a white cardstock base, how are you going to write have a great birthday kind of thing, right? So I'm going to put some white back here, and that measurement will be 2 by, you guessed it, 5 3/8, because that's how wide the card is. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it fits in a regular envelope. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Now let's get this trimmer out of our way. Now, in addition to, this is the fun part to me, and I think this is the fun part to all of you as well. Let's see if I can get this back focused. Okay, so I'm gonna use this for ease of quickness. I also took the liberty of deciding I was going to decorate it with some fun things. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Seal. I probably should be using the Tombow, because it's a little bit more forgiving when you're lining up. So, for example, for that, like, it's not quite lined up, and so I try not to push down hard until I know I have it lined up. That's just a little trick. Let me show you the difference between that and the Tombow. So that's the back side, right? That's where our greeting is going to be. So then I'm going to go ahead and do this side, and I'm just going to, oh my gosh. The thing, I hated Tombow for a long time, and still I kind of have some love-hate relationship with it. But I think that you don't have to squeeze. And I think that's part of the problem. I think we all think we should squeeze like the Elmer's glue bottles. Nope, it's ready to come out just like it is. And then you have more control over where it goes. So if you see, I'm just doing a couple dots. And when it dries, that baby's not coming off. All right. Oh, okay. And then this one's going to go like that. The rest of this is pretty simple, except for when you're lining up your diamonds. And so I wanted to get to that. And I did not have time to like jump ahead and have this already done for you. So I'll just talk about things. Da-da-da. If you haven't seen, I'm doing a customer and myself garage sale on July 11th. What that means is if you have things you want to get rid of, you can bring them here and I will process all that. You have to volunteer for a bit during setup or takedown, or I would keep like $15 just for the processing fees, which isn't really that big of a deal. But I don't know if you watch. Oh, look at that. That's a little disappointing right there. It's kind of a little glitch. We're going to go with it. I broke a toe a couple weeks ago. And I also have tendonitis in my same foot. Isn't that special? So I'm going to probably not be able to hop around as much as I would like. So that's why I'm like, come help, please. And I'm going to have to let go of some control. And that's going to be tough for me. All right. The thing I'm using to put this glue on is my silicone mat. The silicone mat is great because like this is shiny, but it's already dry. So you can just rub it off and it doesn't get your work surface all sticky and gooby. And I know that's a technical term, the sticky and gooby. All right. So here we go, peeps. All right. So what I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line this guy up. And I'm going to start by putting these corners in line with the edge of the card. So I'm just going to do a couple dots. Remember, a dot's a lot. Put this down. And the reason I like Tombow now is because I can move it a little bit and I got it lined up. So then I can just go ahead and hold that. The next one is the second size. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing, only it's not going to line up quite on the edge, but it's going to line up with my other diagonal diamond. And same thing, I'm just going to put a little bit down here. And down here. Okay, so look at how fun that is already. Ta-da! I can't even really tell you how excited I am. Okay, so meanwhile, back in the farm, no, I'm kidding. I decided to pair this designer series paper. I wasn't going to stamp today. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like it. So I have this thing called Wanted to Say Dies, and it's in our annual catalog. And you're going to ask me what page, and I don't know, because I'm not that organized. Anyway, it is a great set. I'm going to get my little piece of paper. For those of you who like words. And so I thought this is perfect, right? So I've got some stars, I got the present, the bow, and happy birthday. And what I did is we have these adhesive sheets that I put in the back of the white. Well, everything's sticking. The back of the white so that I could not have to deal with that Tombow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this out. Now, when you use an adhesive sheet, it doesn't always cut straight through, and that's okay because you don't really want it to. You really want it just to cut the cardstock and hopefully leave some of that parts that you don't want, the negatives, in your adhesive sheet. We did pretty good, I'd say. So these guys can go down here. And now like putting this on my silicone sheet, it's not going to get rid of all the adhesive. It's going to get rid of a little bit. All right, I have to watch the time today because I have a buffet starting in a short bit. All right, and then you line it up like this. And I purposely chose white and black because I figured I wasn't sure what color combo I was going to end up with, and I think it's going to look fantastic. And that looks all wonky. There we go. And then we're going to grab the word birthday. So you can see that they're two different words. So if you wanted to cut them apart, you could. I haven't experimented yet with that, what it could look like, but you could do happy birthday you, because the sentiments in this are just, I think, super awesome. Okay, best laid plans. It's okay. I am going to, dang it, like that. And then, there we go. No, that's not where we're going. You want to get it started with the adhesive only coming up, not the cardstock. And so it's not a solid adhesive sheet in the back because you don't need it to be completely solid. This is the hardest part right now, this card. Well, maybe the measurements for some of us. This is really starting to bug me, but I'm going to power through. Because I can. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and take those little goobers back out, stick them on my silicone and find them later. Okay. Now, if I put these on that's another way to do it too. You can just put your finger on it, and then pretty soon you have all these little pieces on your finger, and it drives you crazy. But, each to his own. All right, so here we go. We're going to put the bee. We're going to try to line this up so it looks pretty dang good. And I'm going to add this and put this in. That. All right. Okay, and then once I think it's really good, I'm going to push down hard because I want it to remain good. And then I thought this would be fun to have like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some Tombow on the bottom, so that on the birthday. So in the folding club, or whatever I'm going to call it, you sign up for 12 months and it can rotate. So it can start in August when I start. It can start in September when you wanted to start, so really there's going to be, you just get 12 months and I will keep track of what month we're in for you. Okay, so then I tried to cut I tried to cut the present out. I was going to say the prisoner. Not sure what I was thinking. Okay, so here's the present. And if you can see, it has score marks. But you can't really see it. Wanted to say dies can be found on page 85. Thank you, Chris, my Vanna. And number is 161594. So what I did prior to this is I put Tombow glue on this, and I kind of am going to paper piece my present to go with the colors that I have. So how I did this before I cut all these off, I should show you. I have my present, and I wanted it to be, well, geez, because it's white, you can never find it. It's here, it's here, it's here, I know. Holy buckets. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I just kind of took a piece of paper. I just totally winged it, and I know that drives some of you absolutely crazy, but I decided it didn't really matter if it was too wide, too thin. It would be bad. Too wide would be fine. So I just kind of put Tombow glue and glued it like that. And then while I finished up prepping, or lack of prepping, I let it dry. And then that's where this comes in. And then I'm trimming it now so it's all symmetrical. So, and this happens to have sticky sheet on the back. So there's my present. And it's kind of fun. And I'm not sure where I want it. Maybe, well, happy birthday. Maybe up here. The thing is, you just never know. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I have all these fun stars, and hearts would be great too. And so I'm going to grab my glue dots, and I'm going to glue one or two of them, the bigger one probably, because I want my glue dot to be completely. Now remember, This is, I did not make this up before. I mean, I made the one, but like this one. So I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to go where, oh my gosh, would this look great? I think it'd be fun to have some coming out like that. And then again, and so if you're interested in the Fun Fold Club, let me know, or the Fun Fold, tutorial group or something like that. I haven't quite figured out the words, but it'll come to me. And you just want to make sure you don't go past these spots because that's how it's going to fit in the envelope. So I think that looks fun. I'm going to probably put these right in the front. Kind of tie it all together with one glue dot. And then I'll show you, I just decided what I'm doing with the present. And so this present, remember I said it has self-adhesive sheet on it? Well, I'm not going to peel all that off because otherwise that's going to stick. Not where I want it, right? So I'm just going to cut that off. Outsmart myself. And then put my present here and kind of kitty wampus. And then I'm going to grab my bow and add that with a glue dot. What do you think? I think I love this. I think I need to buy a lot of this paper because this is a fun birthday card to give to people who are a little bit more special than just a regular fold. And so that's how it works. Look at that. How fun is that? You can write your little reading back here. You could decorate to your heart's content. We could add some bling because that's always important. Grab some bright colored bling and just kind of, decorate and make it fun. And you could puff it up, or there's so many things you could do. There's, limits. So I'm going to add my little eye there. And I'm going to grab a melon. I don't know if all these match exactly, but they don't have to match exactly, right? Because that means, we don't have to be completely particular. We know they are close in families. So then we can have fun together with the different jewels. Let's put one over here. It kind of gets lost. But anyway, you get the idea. All right. I am super excited about this card. And I will, again, if you comment or reach out, tell me what you think about the club idea I have. I'm not sure how it's going to work pricing yet, but that's okay. And I will send out an email. So watch for my emails. Make sure you try to come to July 11th. Garage sale with my customers. They'll have great deals. I'll have great deals. And I should have my club kind of figured out by then because I'll have all that time on July 11th week that I'm at the lake. Just kidding. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week. Same day, next Tuesday. I don't know what time. It kind of depends. So we'll see. Thanks. Bye.